Hey, it's Wolfy-Chan, and wait, you should definitely subscribe, that big red button, for anime, manga, something new, different in the future. You should definitely do that right now. Go on. You good? Welcome. This might be a little different, and you might hear a little bit of noise. It's alright. We're going to talk about Volume 2 of Tales of the Wedding Rings. I didn't think I'd keep reading this series, but I did, because somebody recently got Crunchyroll, and I decided to, read it, because I have the membership there, right? So I should read it and see if it's better. It's So, Volume 2 follows Hime and Sato, or Sato. I call him Sato. I bet the U has some very big importance to it that I'm not catching. Sorry, but I do know he means princess. So, they get run out of their kingdom because of it's an abyssal knight. I was gonna say dark knight, but it's an abyssal knight that comes after Sato in the Norakumu castle that Hime first brought him in. Who'd have thought? Castle, maybe not the best thing. I don't know. So we now have to acquire all 5 rings. Yes, you have to acquire all 5 princesses to get enough of the Ring King power to destroy the Abyssal King, who is not fully putting himself out there, but meh. So we now have to go to the Wind Kingdom, which happens to have this lovely little lady. Well, as you see in Volume 1 to 2, she's kind of, Well, when we get to the Wind Kingdom, there's a barrier of wind around it, or surrounding it, and there's a whole bunch of, knights and stuff like that, and the Sage Alabaster, I believe is his name, is like, this isn't normal, and then, oh god, don't kill us, please. Oh, you're travelers, strangers, in fact. Come on in. Okay. So, we meet Nymphites. Her name is very complicated, and I'm not great with. It looks like Nymphritis. I just called her Nymphris for a while because of PH. I don't know. There's not like a how you say the name, but she's an elf, and she lives terribly long because we get a conversation later on in the series that she's like 50 years old, and that's young. They're elves, of course they would live as long. So she has never interacted with people, she's never really left her room, she's never really dealt with anybody. So her brother is in charge of the kingdom and is like, nah, you can't see her, you're never gonna get the ring. Later, bro. Well, Sato is still trying, and her name is Peril? An elder elf who has a secret, and we'll find out along the series. But she has a secret. And Perel is an elder, so she's, I believe, the eldest of all the elves. And she ends up grabbing Memphis, or Nephrite, and Sato, and going into the chamber where Nephthys' parents are, and they are dead. I don't see how, making a barrier to stop any of the bad stuff makes you dead. Couldn't it just be, I made this barrier and I stopped it, so now we do stuff, right? I'm missing something, and I'd love to know the connection with that. But we don't get an explanation. Nephrite tells Sato, one, she vomited on him, the poor guy cleaned it up. Like, I'm proud of you, Sato. You are champion. But she ends up saying, once they're enclosed, that her parents did everything in their power to protect her and her brother. So the rings are attached to the stone. Well, after a little bit, Nephrite, kind of overcoming herself after she gets found by her brother and has already talked to Sato, and then goes back to her room, and her brother's very freaky. It's kind of like that whole, incest thing, and it's like super creepy. It's just creepy. And he basically tells Sato, you broke out of the jail, because they put him in jail, and we're gonna kick you out. Well, the Abyssal Knight comes in, and we find out that the Abyssal Knight has a dark ring on. And Nephrite sees this and is like, I can't just let him die, because I want to go out and see the world. He told me about his world. I so want to go see it. So she ends up breaking the statues of her parents, getting the rings, marrying, which there's no ceremony, there's no nothing. It's just put your ring on and married. Do that, and ends up breaking the curse or whatever that's on this person, who ends up being Nephrite's aunt, because it was Nephrite's mother's sister who was originally the ring princess. Didn't want to be, because she fell in love with somebody, wink wink, nudge nudge, we'll figure out who that is later, because her end of the story was that she left being the ring princess because she didn't want to marry an elf. She wanted to marry the human that she very much loved. Well, unfortunately, that was not going to be a thing that was going to be accepted. So he ends up going to make her happy, the human, and she ends up cursing the whole kingdom and leaves. Well, after you break the curse on her, she's very sorry, and, because her sister became the ring princess, and thus her niece became the ring princess, and thus is now married to Sato. So, but she is sorry about being a knight and stuff like that, and then there's some, you know too much, and then Sage Alabaster tells her that, he's living his good old life the way he is, yada yada. She gets kind of happy and yet sad, and all this good stuff. So, we end up picking another princess. She's in a cute little new outfit. Her first one was kind of long and flowy. Her second one's more of a travel outfit. And decides to go with Sato. And then the chain is, well, once Hime does anything with Sato, I get to do things with Sato. Or I can wait. And then we get another hinting at the end about the next princess. And it was really interesting. To be fair, this one, I like the detail and everything. The eyes are like... But I can understand the story so far, and it's weird because we also have Prince Nessa? Mase? I always call him Masa. You have the prince following them because he's the failed ring king. He didn't even get there. And he's following them to help, but he's part of the empire as well, so it's interesting. We get more details about what's going on in this world, and we get Abyssal Knights that he has to fight. And the fights don't end up going too well the first time, and then the second time gets better. So it's not bad. And thus I have kept reading it, if you didn't know. But this one, this very strange story, especially with this spring princess. But she is cute, she's innocent, she doesn't understand anything. She's adorable. So, If you like this video, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Have you read this series? Have you got to volume 2? Is it okay, or are you a big fan? Would love to know. And definitely don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that big red button, for more anime, manga, something new, something old, something different in the future. And I hope that you've been having a wonderful, wonderful day. Wolfy-Chan out. Bye.